Hello and welcome back together to my weekend update on the financial markets. We discuss like every weekend update the S&P 500, US oil, gold and Bitcoin with your price action at the weekly, daily and 4-hour time frame so that you know what to do the weeks and days ahead. We are in front of Christmas, so that is probably my last update while the holidays, and I will reduce also my trading. So I give you an update, my view on the market, but I will not trade the coming week in the financial markets. So just that you know, let's start directly with S&P 500 on the weekly time frame. Here the weekly time frame for the S&P 500 index, we are making higher highs and higher lows, so an intake uptrend, but we have seen here a couple weeks divergence from MACD to price, so that normally means that we will see a correction. Here back in 2021 or 2022, we have seen also a divergence MACD to price, and the correction that followed was massive. I don't think that the correction will be that huge, but I will expect a pullback to this weekly uptrend at least. On the daily time frame, you can see the white solid broken daily uptrend, so that speaks for a continuation to the lower side, and also the last low was taking out to the downside. If we see now a higher low and a break again to the downside, it would confirm the downtrend or at least the corrective move in the overall uptrend. At the 4-hour time frame, you can see my failed trade here. I was entering at a new all-time high with a stop loss below this price gap. That went well a couple days. Then we went into this consolidation, and the expectancy was that we would break this consolidation to the upside into my take profit. But then bad Fed news came out and the market crashed with this red engulfing candle to the downside, taking out my stop loss. So I lost $500 on this trade, or 0.5% on the account balance, and also the white daily uptrend line was broken to the downside. And now I'm expecting a move like that. Here was already the retest of this break, and then lower prices until we see this weekly orange uptrend line getting hit by price, retested, and hopefully respected. That would mean that we will turn, seeing again higher highs and higher lows, so an uptrend again, and could trade this then again to the upside. Otherwise, it's also possible that we will see a break, a retest, and a break to the downside, but I think that's the most unlikely scenario here, and I would also inform you if that happens, what to do in the markets like usually. Yeah, that's it for the S&P 500 index. Let's switch to US oil. Oil starting also at the weekly time frame, we can see here the red monthly downtrend line clearly broken to the upside, and then we went into this weekly consolidation here. First supported by the 200 moving average, then we lost the 200 moving average and it turned resistance, so we went lower from there. MACD on the weekly seems to want to cross to the upside, which could be a bullish sign because this weekly orange downtrend line is still broken to the upside until we see price dip below this weekly support and resistance zone here. Yeah, so I expect higher prices in the near future, or at least beginning next year, until price proves me otherwise. At the daily time frame, we can see this weekly consolidation here. We went into a triangle formation. We broke out to the downside and continued. Had here a retest of the midpoint of this triangle and declined lower and went here again into a daily triangle formation that got broken to the upside. And here we get to my trading idea I had the last week at the 4-hour time frame. Here was this daily triangle formation where price bounced inside until it broke out. We had this 4-hour downtrend line that got broken to the upside, and then after the breakout an A, B, C correction. Point B was getting taken out. Then we retested this broken daily white dotted downtrend line. Then we got rejected here from this retest and went again above here this outbreak, and that was the sign to me to get into the trade onto a long position, and my stop loss was placed like usually below this retest. That went well in the first place, but then we got also affected by this Fed news that the rate cuts are not following that fast like expected, and so we went lower. You could argue that this looks again like an A, B, C correction, and you could draw a downtrend line in blue like this. And if we see here a breakout, a retest, and a break of this retest to the upside, you can think about again getting long with then the stop loss below the lowest point of this ABC pattern. But like I said, I won't trade while the holidays, so if it happens between Christmas and New Year, I'm probably not in this trade. I was risking 1% of my account balance with this trade, so I lost, depending on that, yeah, a little bit over 1,000 US dollars. My second failed trade in a row here on oil. That's a little bit sad, but can't change it. The analyzation was right, and I also was keeping my plan in check and my rules, so that can happen with trading. And if you stay consistent with that, it should bring money into the bank account if you just stay the course long enough. This was the positive scenario I was describing here, where you could trade it again to the long side, but it can also decline lower. And if we see a break of this white dotted uptrend line here to the downside, I would expect that we will see a move all the way back down to this weekly support zone here. That's it for US oil. Let's switch to gold. Gold also here at a weekly time frame where each candle represents 1 week of price action. We had a couple of times this resistance zone getting hit and rejected, price again to the downside, but then we had the final break, a massive surge to the upside, a correction, a second massive surge to the upside, and now it seems like we are in the second correction of this bull run. MACD was across to the downside and extended to the upside, so it was time for a retest, but price is pretty sticky here in this high area and don't want to come down significantly, at least so far. At the daily time frame, we can see that the white solid uptrend line was broken to the downside. Price rejected again to the upside and was consolidating around this broken area of the uptrend, and then was again getting lower. That's not a clean ABC pattern like I was expecting, so I decided for myself not to trade it, because if you are not sure enough, you shouldn't gamble your money on it. We had an MACD divergence, so that was also an indicator for declining prices. And yeah, we have seen here at the 4-hour time frame that this support and the resistance zone was holding, so we haven't seen a breakout to higher highs and couldn't trade it to the long side. But this here is not really a good trading scenario. Maybe you could argue to take this support area here that got broken to the downside, make at the moment a retest, MACD also cross to the upside at the 4-hour, and that if you see a break of price again below this point here, then you could go short if you want to and trade all the way to the downside till we reach an important support zone like this one here in white, or even in combination with this orange uptrend line. I'm not trading it again because I'm not sure about this pattern here and the holidays, so make decisions by yourself, but I will update you what happened the next weekend again and how we will approach gold beginning next year. That's it for gold. Let's switch to Bitcoin. So here we are, Bitcoin against the US dollar, also at the weekly time frame starting here. Yeah, a massive move for Bitcoin after a long consolidation zone, so you couldn't complain about the Bitcoin performance this year, that's for sure, but every rally has to pause some moment, so the MACD indicator is crossing slowly, or far from crossing, but slowly declining a little bit. Also price is doing that and nearing this 10-week moving average again. And if you zoom out to past bull runs, you can see that massive moves have to be corrective at some moment and nearly getting back again to the 10-week moving average before then finally reaching the top. So the same thing I will expect or similar in this bull run. So a consolidation back to the 10-week moving average would be healthy for the overall uptrend. If we drop down to the daily time frame, you can see this beautiful price channel. Price was moving a long time inside, and then the breakout I was trading to the upside. I was take profit in 3 steps. Here I sold at $85,000 US dollars, 1/3 of my position, at $95,000 and the second third of my position, and the last third of my position I was selling at 103 or 4,000 US dollars per Bitcoin, and I was expecting that price could eventually reach 108 or $110,000 before the next huge correction. 110 wasn't the case, but 108 got hit by Bitcoin and then started declining. We had also here at the daily time frame a divergence to price, MACD differed against the price, so price was making higher highs and MACD was making lower highs, so a decline was expected. If we use the Fibonacci retracement tool here, you can see that the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement hold so far, and we could wait to see that the 10-week moving average moves into this direction. I think it's at the moment somewhere right here, so that either the 0.382 Fibonacci holds or we move all the way back down to the 0.5% retracement, and maybe even meet this white dotted daily uptrend. Wouldn't be a problem for Bitcoin or the uptrend as long as we hold this uptrend. At the 4-hour time frame, you can see I was drawing slightly below the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement support zone at the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, because the price was holding pretty well every time we reached this area and got rejected to the upside. So maybe we will stay above this while the holiday season and wait till the moving average comes to price, and then beginning next year rise again. We will see, or we will break it to the downside, also possible, and see another move lower, meeting this daily uptrend line in combination with the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, which is also a very strong area where price often get rejected again to the upside and continue the overall uptrend to new all-time highs, because I think we are not finished yet with this bull run. Yeah, that's it for Bitcoin. I think if you traded at least similar to my trade here, you can be pretty happy with the result. And yeah, I lost 2 trades now last week, but still $18,000 or 18% in profit with account balance. And yeah, maybe I will make a video with a recap of my trading so far before I get into 2026, 25 with you together. And yeah, I hope you have all great holidays and a good time with your families. We will hear us next weekend. Bye bye.